music editors are kind of the liaison between the directors and the composers. We generally start much earlier than the rest of the sound team. There's a lot to usually work out with the music before a composer comes on, and even while a composer is on. Usually by the time we're on, they have started to try different types of music in the film as they're editing. After we do the temp score and we go through that process, at that point the composer is usually brought on, and the music editor will work with the composer as cues are written. So the composer will deliver, 5 cues or something, and we will sit and watch them together with the director and the picture editor and take notes and make, the director will say what's working, what's not working. The picture is always changing. So that's a huge part of our job, is to change the music to the picture that's constantly changing. We usually start, if it's a feature, what's called a temp score. So we take music from other movies and we make a score for the film. A lot of composers want to see the movie without a temp score because they just want to have a fresh take on the film, which is a great way to come up with something really original. But it's also, at some point, they have to watch with the temp score because there are certain sort of emotional directions that the director might be going in. So like you might have an action scene, and if you're a composer and there's no guidance whatsoever with audio and the music, you might score it a certain way that's very energetic and, fast moving, and the director may have wanted an aria. That's why we do a temp score, because it's sometimes through words alone, the director can't really convey necessarily what they want musically, because it's kind of a different language. There's a pre-record portion that happens when usually the music supervisor is dealing with that. So they record all of the vocals, and then they use those on the set, and then the actors sing to that. And then other times they'll just have an earpiece that is playing it in their ear so they can actually sing. So there's times where we can use the actual production sound for the vocal track, which is really nice to be able to use real and pre-record, and sort of what you tend to do is sort of mix the two together. And some songs and some films actually are just all live, which, there's always technical things to get around with that. We can adjust a lot in post. We could do a lot of tuning and things that are very natural sounding. They've got amazing software to do stuff like that now. It's such a collaborative process that the more you can collaborate and help the composer with the requests that they have, or at least, try to, like I said, even if you just grab 4 examples and say, this doesn't work, this is okay, I like this kind of sound. Instrumentation is harder. Asking the director to say, what kind of instruments do you want, is a little harder. But if the director, can say, I really like how this sound is, if it turns out that it's very orchestral and there's a lot of strings, that's helpful for the composer to know. Or if they say, I really like how this sounds, and it's only, a solo or like a small trio or something, then again, like that helps shape what the score will be, and where the composer can take those first steps and have more success in creating the score. When you're listening to music that you think might work, or definitely doesn't work, or whatever, is have the picture up. And you don't have to sync it up, but if you just play it as you're watching a scene that you want the music to go into, I think you'll tend to know right away if a vibe is going to work or not. And then that is a great direction to give to the composer. And that's what I do all the time, is I'll be playing a scene and I'll just click through like 2 seconds of a song, nope, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Oh, that has a chance. And I pull it. and then I start to compile things, and then I start to edit them into the scene, and I realized, you know, like, oh, those 5 that I pulled that I thought were pretty good actually don't work at all. And so there's a lot of trial and error on the music editor's part, but I'm sure also on the composer's part, just, you know, trying to figure out what the director wants. And so any guidance that you can give like that, by putting it to your picture and really having a sense if what the advice you're giving is actually accurate to the picture is really helpful.